6 o'clock. Yeah. It's off to Eastern Canada for 3 games and 4 nights for Connor and the crew. We get you set for the Oilers and the Maple Leafs on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Hello, everybody. Welcome inside Boston Pizza Westgate. Tom Gazzola with the man, the myth, the legend, Lieutenant Eric, who's in-house as we get set for another Oilers matchup. What is it? Game number 18 on the season for the Orange and Blue. Rick, good to have you here, by the way.
Thanks for having me. American Thanksgiving beckons, and as you mentioned, 18 and a hockey night in Canada and TO. What more do you want?
Oh, baby. Here we go.
Special night.
Look at this. A special delivery from Tony here at Boston Pizza Westgate. He's got the 6 o'clocker lager. They have that here, can form. It's going to be a lot of fun. The golf sim is going. You can see the Coors Light golf sim booking schedule if you scan that QR code on the side of your screen. Oh my God, that's a frothy pour. Well done,
just
sir.
Just enough.
Oh yeah,
okay.
look at that. That's like picturesque.
Let her settle a bit.
That could be a commercial. And Tony has a bunch of goodies that we're going to be giving away live on location here at BP Westgate. Come on down. Of course, GCL Diesel, proud sponsors of the Oil Stream pregame show, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Join the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. 9999. Yeah, I know. You like to do that. And get in on the nasty chat as well. Thoughts on tonight's game, on the road trip, all of the above. Edmonton's got its first 3-game winning streak of the season, which is great. Rick, this is your first pre and post here. I know we've popped in here a few times. This is like your backyard, basically.
Yeah.
Tony's getting you set up with the 6 o'clocker.
Yep.
We've got some GCs to give away. We've got the raffle. And then what else do we have here that Tony brought in?
Well, shoot. I mean, you got the putter over on your side,
I'll
too.
get to the
you'll
putter,
get to that. But, I mean, this is nice here. Team Canada. Who doesn't love a good Hockey Canada hoodie, bunny hug, if you will?
That's a nice one. It's a Nike.
Look at that,
That's
Nike.
Pretty nice. Good
brand.
Material, yep.
Okay, we'll get that to the side here.
Absolutely.
What else do we got here?
Okay, we got some
another hoodie.
These are rarities, and they're hard to find.
Right.
So this is something that sold out. Talking to the guys
from last
at
year, and look at this patch here, the Heritage Classic.
You got an Oilers Heritage Classic hoodie. Very nice there. Yep. So that's good, but that's a Fanatics one. And here we go. Like for tonight, this is a home jersey.
This is just straight up
a home jersey. These are expensive.
Straight up.
Tony and Curtis have provided a home jersey, and then a bunch of gift certificates. We got the raffle draws, and then look at this.
Goodness.
Look, Tony, great timing. Tony, great timing.
Wow.
Look at that. We got the Vizzy Hard Seltzer cooler with the speaker on it.
That's beautiful.
Man,
I'm looking for a cooler.
It's a cooler speaker. That is really nice. And then, so while you were gone, Curtis brings this up to me.
Yeah, the putter.
And we've got a tailor-made Spider putter, left-handed. We're going to do trivia on the pregame show to give this away. I think it's a $250 club. And so we'll do a trivia that Hernan Salas is going to provide the question. Yeah. And we're going to need you to text in the right answer to the trivia. And then on the postgame show, tune in, and we will pick out of all the people who answered correctly a winner at random.
Give me that cooler. I want to pump that up in front of the camera.
There we go. Like this is going to be, it's very early.
Oh,
wow.
God, that's heavy. Oh, it's weighs more than me.
Speaker cooler.
Look at that thing.
So come down to Boston Pizza Westgate. The way it works is you order a drink, you get a ticket. That's it. You order a drink, you get a ticket, and then your number goes in for the draw.
Westgate BPs.
Great prizing. The boys here at Westgate BPs are absolutely awesome. You'll see the QR code popping up on your screen. It's in the carousel there. That QR code is for the Coors Light Golf Simulator in the back. Hopefully Curtis does not break another club today. And then the TaylorMade Spider left-handed putter, value of $250, brought to you by Molson Canadian.
Great fucking...
Use that.
Yeah, look, 5th time. I've been having a good afternoon. I said you shouldn't have me on the show, but I'm going to be on here as long as... Well, but it's been a hell of an afternoon. The putter's great. The prizes are great. The cooler's great. You got a jersey here.
I know.
You could have just had the jersey.
6 o'clocker lager.
6 o'clocker lager on.
That's been going really well.
whole thing's going on. Westgate Boston Pizza, come on down. It's a great time.
Yes.
And an early puck drop as well, which is
Exactly.
nice on a Saturday night. 5 o'clock, Hockey Night Canada. What more you need? Leafs, Oilers? I mean, this is
Lieutenant Eric. It's my dad's birthday. He's already here.
That's another thing we haven't mentioned. It's taken a while.
Happy birthday to my dad. It's his 69th birthday.
He's got the table.
There with all his friends right now.
I love it.
He's got a 6 o'clock.
He's coming on those soon, eh?
We'll get him on in a little bit in the last couple of minutes. We've got Matty Cassian coming up in a few minutes as well. We got Hernan back at EST HQ and the big dog. And then we've got Nick Alberga that will be joining us from the Scotiabank Arena. Nick, obviously covering the Maple Leafs and has for a long time. He was with NHL Network before. Now he's the host of Leafs Morning Take. Let's get the Latino eat in here. Nanso, what a great start to the show. You're going to be coming down here as well. You're in studio right meow. Hola.
Hola. The big cat.
the big
dog, yeah.
Yeah, what's up, boys?
What's going on? Good vibes already.
It's a good vibes. It's Oilers
Yeah.
Leafs. It doesn't get any better than this.
Exactly.
Hopefully the game is not over by the first like it was last year.
Oh, my goodness.
I do have a trivia question, Tom. And I know you're going to get to lineups and all that, but 11-7 again. Hernan's not a fan of that, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the Oilers are due. That's all I'm going to say. It's great to see a lot of people down there with the golf simulator. I saw a guy walk in with a bunch of clubs. That's pretty cool. And shout out to Reno. Happy birthday. And LTE. Anytime LTE is in the building,
right? I love you so much, Hernan.
He's got his Baltimore Stallions hat on.
Yeah, Great Cup weekend, baby.
He's having a nice Saturday. That's right.
As long as the game is better than the Tyson Paul fight, I think we're in
Oh,
good hands.
God.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a waste.
Tyson got his laundry, though. Hey, he got the laundry bag. Yeah.
20 schmil.
Everybody got their money.
My goodness. My goodness. Taylor Swift in Toronto yesterday, by the way. I saw a lot of people that were there. Oilers and Leafs. So we got Cass coming up shortly. Hernan's back at EST HQ. Lieutenant Eric and Todd Gazzola here at Boston Pizza Westgate. Such great prizing. Come on down. Lots of time to get in on it. We draw for prizes in the second and first and second intermission, and then right before the end of the game, right before we head on the air for the post-game show. And then, like I said, this tailor-made Spider left-handed putter, brand new from Molson Canadian. We've got that. I've got some GCs to give away. $25 gift cards to Boston Pizza. The boys make it good here. Curtis and Tony are absolutely tremendous, and looking forward to having a lot of fun, getting a lot of people down here. It's
great pies, great pasta.
Yeah, exactly. Boston Pizza is fantastic. Okay, let's get into a couple of things here before we get Cass on, and we need to get to the starting lineup, starting goalies, and our injury report. I'll read out for the Oilers. You heard Hernan say it. McDavid and Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins playing together. Everton going with 11-7 again. So McDavid between Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins. Draisaitl with Podkolzin. We saw Perry up there the other night, Rick. Henrique with Janmark and Brown. And then Skinner and Ryan, Jeff Skinner and Derek Ryan with a rotating cast of centermen between them. On defense, you want to do defense?
Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Dermott, Kulak, Emberson, and Stetcher season. Troy Stetcher, the 7th of the 11-7.
That's right. As for the Maple Leafs, Tavares between Bobby McMahon and Mitch Marner. Max Domi with Matthew Nyes and William Nylander. David Kemp with Pontus Holmberg and Nick Robertson. Stephen
No
Loretz.
Austin Matthews in that.
Oh, how about that?
Jeez.
Stephen Loretz with
Can't
Connor
get up for the
Dewar.
big one.
Ryan Reeves on defense. Rick?
Morgan Rowley, Yanni Hakanpää, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, OEL, and Connor Timmins rounding out the third pairing on the blue line.
We will have a Oliver Ekman-Larsson 1,000th game celebration ceremony on the broadcast tonight.
OEL was a big talking point back at the old place for a while. He's been a name that this market knows for a while, and it's funny that he's on the third pairing of the Leafs tonight, Hockey Night Canada against the Oilers.
Hey, perfect. Yeah, and they're going to give him a silver stick for his 1,000th game.
There you go.
Out for the Leafs, Simon Benoit or Simone Benoit, however you want to go about his first name, and Alex Steeves. In goal tonight for the Oilers, 26-year-old Stu Skinner, 5-5-1, 322 goals against average, 881 save percentage, one shutout in his 11 appearances this year. Versus the Leafs, Rick?
2-2 with a 4.13 goals against average, 870 save percentage in 4 games against Toronto in his career.
At the other end of the rink, it's former Oiler
Anthony Stollers, 6'3", with a 2.11 goals against average, .930 save percentage. He's got a shutout in 11 games this season.
0-2 record versus Edmonton for Stollars, .351 GAA, .890 save percentage in those 2 appearances. You heard Rick talking about Austin Matthews. We didn't hear him in the lineup for the Leafs. That's because
Coward.
As we get to the Advantage Sports Medicine injury report, we'll fill you in on that. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance performance, we treat you like a pro using the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game. For Edmonton, no Victor Arvidsson, day-to-day, undisclosed Rick, and then Evander Kane, LTIR.
Yeah, Domino. I mean, that's how you go. We know Evander Kane, but Arvidsson day-to-day. The Matthews thing, too.
Yeah.
A few people are saying that he might be, this is a big one, obviously, Oilers and Maple Leafs talking in Canada. He might bet he's been skating, so not a big surprise there, but you got to be skating first. But, I will say it. Somebody in the Nasty Chat said he might be at the Taylor Swift thing, so maybe that's garnering his attention this week, more so for than the hockey game.
Officially, they have him on the IR with an upper body issue. Max Pacioretty, IR lower body. Kelly Yarncroc, IR lower body. And Dakota Mermis, fractured jaw.
I know about the jaw injuries.
Happens to the best of us. Text us 780-218-9999 and get into the Nasty Chat. Matt Cassian on deck, almost ready to go as we get set for Game Changers. Talk Gazzola, Lieutenant Eric, live on location. Boston Pizza, Westgate. The 6 o'clocker lager is available here. We've got the Vizzy Cooler Speaker. Absolutely huge. Yeah, Rick's been...
Oh, God.
That is a monster.
They loaded it with 6 o'clockers. It is full packed. Oh, yeah. It's totally loaded. Weighs more than me.
Wow, well done.
Here it is.
Feats of strength. And then, we've got the Hockey Canada hoodie. We've got a Oilers Heritage
jersey.
Classic hoodie, and then an Oilers home jersey to give away.
Heritage, yeah.
So come on down, BP Westgate. The Coors Light Simulator, the golf sim's going right now. You'll see it on the side of your screen. That QR code is for booking the Coors Light Golf Simulator, and $20 an hour. That is a great rate.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's a great rate. Absolutely. All right, and we do have the putter. I can't remember if Cass is a lefty.
This is the big one.
This is the big one.
Yeah.
Tailor-made Spider. This is provided by Molson Canadian. We're also going to be doing a trivia question for that one. We're going to give away the trivia question on the pregame show, and then we'll have you text in only right answers. Right answers will be put into a pool, and we'll select a random winner, and we'll announce it on the postgame show.
Out of the hat.
Classic out of the hat, that's for sure. All right, he is ready to rock. He is our game analyst. He is Matt Cassian, and let's bring him in for Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community-driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. What's up, Cass? Look, I brought a surprise for you.
Cass, how you doing, man?
I know. I've been so excited. Been watching you guys and listening. And Eric, it's great to see you. Great to see you.
Likewise,
you look good, man.
Likewise,
you look real good.
Oh yeah, likewise, man. I love the hat you're wearing too. And we need a Cass date, a morning Matt date, if you will, on the morning show sometime soon.
Yeah, we're probably due for one. I think
Yeah.
if we could try to find that. I don't know if we have access to that old spin out, but that would be great if we could find that intro. I miss that. I miss listening to that.
Yeah, it was a nice little treat every once in a while, for sure.
It was, yeah.
Well, you've got the keys to the vault, right?
I got the passwords. Yeah, the Wi-Fi. We'll get it going, Matt.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
We'll get that. All right, as we get things going on Game Changers with Matty Cassian, the Oilers and the Leafs. Early one today, Cass, number one. We'll get right into it with you. Streaking
Streaking, much like Lieutenant Eric may do tonight at the Boston Pizza. If
170th, watch out 170th. Yeah,
going streaking. Hey, we talked about it at post-game show. Thinking about it lots. It's been mentioned a couple of times. Putting together a little winning streak here for the Edmonton Oilers. Now they've won a couple games in a row. It wasn't a perfect game against Nashville. They let off the gas in the third. Couldn't find a way to bury some of the chances that they did have earlier in the hockey game. But hey, at the end of the day, they get the win in overtime, and now they have the train rolling a little bit. Now we have seen this team last season find ways to stretch out winning streaks incredibly long in some instances, and as they start to play better hockey and they start to climb the standings a little bit here, just a huge opportunity, Tom. I mean, 2 wins is great, 3 wins is fantastic, 4 is even better, and the best teams, I don't know what the statistics would be, but on playoff teams, the number of times they win 3 or more games in a row is probably quite high. You want to be a team that's able to go on runs and capitalize. And for the Edmonton Oilers, you're heading out east where, last couple seasons, you haven't had a ton of success. You struggled playing out east. Yep. Last year in particular, they didn't play very well whenever they got into Eastern Canada. So a big opportunity today for the Edmonton Oilers just to build that momentum, guys, to keep that streak rolling and hopefully start to stretch this thing out. And as Dusty likes to say, and maybe he will say again whenever he comes back, milking those points. You need to milk those points. Yeah.
Cass, is this the toughest test on this 3-game road trip for you, in your opinion?
I think the back-to-back might be a little tougher just because it's back-to-back on the road with it's not a lot of travel, but you got a little bit more travel. Now, from a purely how the teams are playing and a quality of the team standpoint, this is going to be the toughest test, I think. You do have a very good Maple Leafs team that's been playing really good. We'll talk about a couple of their players in a minute here, but they have given the Oilers a challenge. So, physically, probably the second half of the back-to-back, but it definitely in terms of the quality of the team you're facing tonight against the Maple Leafs is going to be the toughest game.
Cass, I want to add one bullet point to point number 1, streaking for the Oilers. They have won 3 in a row. We've had people bring it up on various shows on our station, the concern with giving up these leads, multi-goal leads, 1-goal leads, not being
playing with your food,
toying with it, if you will. In your opinion, how concerning, or is it not concerning? Do you think they're okay?
Well, it is a little concerning, but some of the things that were much more concerning before have started to be fixed, right? Or they're working on and they're improving, where it's like I would have had other things in front of that. So if we're getting to the point where okay, they need to get better at closing out games, at least this tells us they're playing with the lead. They're not chasing. They're putting themselves in a good position. So is it an issue? Yeah, it's an issue. You don't want to let teams back in games. You got to find a way, especially if you outplay them in the first 2 periods where you have 5-on-5 chances, you have opportunities, you have power play opportunities to put the game away, to dagger in the heart on these things. They got to do it, and they haven't found a way to. So is it concerning? Yes. Panicking? No, because they're playing better and they've started to play much more consistent. That penalty kill, now 2 games, we're hopefully seeing it turn a little bit. But am I freaking out about it? No, at this point I'm not.
Everybody just be calm. Point number 2 on game changers. Rick, if you'll do the honors.
Yeah, well, Austin Matthews, we were talking throughout the week with our insiders, analysts, and such, and he still wasn't skating. I think I saw him on the back of a semi-trailer, missing Austin Matthews. Did you see him call this 1-900 number? He won't be playing tonight. But what if, in your mind, I know the defense, some people are saying the Leafs defense might be a little weak. Without Matthews in the lineup, though, where is this area of exploitation going to come from the Edmonton Oilers' point of view?
Well, it's certainly not that the Toronto Maple Leafs are all of a sudden generating no offense. I mean, the guys, they're 4-1 without Matthews in the lineup. They've been playing very well. Mitch Marner, Willie Nylander, and John Tavares, surprised John Tavares in some ways where he's on a heater. Like they have been playing extremely well. They basically have risen up in absentee of Austin Matthews not being there, and they're finding ways to produce 5-on-5 as well. Their power play also has been very, very good during that time. So they're continuing to be a really good team. So I don't want to look at this and say, they're a really weak group, or there's huge areas to exploit. Like, yeah, it's nice not having Austin Matthews in the lineup. He's one of the best probably the best pure goal scorer in the game currently in terms of just his ability to find ways to put the puck in the net. But other guys are playing very, very well. Now, on the defensive side, is there an area to exploit? Well, I mean, you might look at it and say, Connor McDavid has exploited Morgan Riley at times and made him look like an AHL defenseman, but he's done that to a lot of players. And maybe at times this Maple Leafs defense has struggled, but we'll talk about it again in a minute. They have some guys that could give the Oilers a challenge here. And old Oiler Anthony Stolarz, who has I don't want to say miraculously arisen as an answer for the Toronto Maple Leafs goaltending woes, but he's been playing really well this year. Penciled in as the backup most likely, or the guy that was going to get less games. But as of right now, he's played 11. He's 6-3 guys with a .930 save percentage and 2.11 goals against. Like he's playing lights out right now. So I don't look at this team as being a weak team. Like they are a fairly deep offensive team, as we already talked about. We're going to talk about the D in a second. And there's no obviously massive exploits on it. There's no button that you hit in the controller where it's, you just beat them. You just don't. They are a good hockey team. They have guys that are playing very well, and it is going to be a challenge.
All right, that was point number 2 on Game Changers. Matt Cassian with us, Lieutenant Eric visiting as we're down here at Boston Pizza, Westgate, LTE. Good stuff as always. Stick with us for one more point. And then we got Hernan Salas back at EST HQ. Yeah, you got to eat soon, but we got to get to one more point on Game Changers. It is...
Well, the Chris Tanev-McCabe pairing as well. Touch on that as well for us, Cassian, tonight.
Yeah. Now they haven't played together every single shift of the season. They've moved them around a little bit. Tried some of them with Morgan Riley, but this is a pairing I think you're going to see a lot of tonight, particularly with McDavid. I think that's where you're going to see the matchup with the McDavid, Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins line. They are going to see a lot of Tanev and McCabe. Now, not the youngest defensive pairing, but guys that play hard and they play physical. They can move. They play mean. A pretty good group. Like you're going to see, particularly Chris Tanev. Now he signs that long-term deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. We did see him with Dallas, but we are experienced in the Chris Tanev factor with how much he played in Calgary. He is a fantastic defenseman still. Now, towards the end of that contract could be a different conversation, but for right now, he is a guy that is going to be difficult to play against. Going to eat up a ton of minutes and going to really try to be that shutdown defenseman. And we've seen him do it and at times do it incredibly well for Edmonton. Again, I don't think this is an area you exploit, but an interesting matchup is going to say, okay, for Edmonton's not snake bit 5-on-5, but their inability to finish 5-on-5. This is where it gets interesting to me because you have some guys in Toronto where if they're on their game, Chris Tanev in particular, they are going to limit some of those 5-on-5 chances. So you darn well better bury them if you have an empty net. Like most likely a group where you're not going to get 8 million of those chances and you're going to get like 5 looks and you're like, oh man, we didn't score any of them. Like that'll come back to bite you here. So, important today for the Edmonton Oilers that with that matchup in McDavid or Draisaitl, whichever one ends up getting them, again, I'm anticipating the lion's share of those minutes will be against McDavid, but for both of those guys in their lines, you got to find ways to create some offense 5-on-5 against a group that's going to be physical on you. They're going to be hard to play against. They're going to probably play a little bit more defensively and try to eat you up.
Beautiful.
Love it. Great to see, Cass. Again, the morning show misses you, and I miss you as well, just due to the intro, your presence as well. But both combined, I think, are a deadly combination. So we're going to get you on again. Maybe if Dusty misses another week, we might have to have a morning Matt date later on in the week.
Oh, I like that.
I think that would be perfect. I would love that. That'd be great.
It's all up to you. Yeah, absolutely.
Rick,
absolutely.
Great cameo, big boy.
Should I get the birthday boy?
Go get the birthday boy. Go get the birthday boy. We'll bring him on in a little bit. Let's get the Latino Heat Hernan Salas back in here. Lieutenant Eric with a little pop by. Come by, see him here at Boston Pizza, Westgate. Nanso, you good to go? I think Nanso is good to go here with Cass as we roll along on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at Boston Pizza. Norman a Combine. Yeah, that big cooler is for you. All right, Nanso, what do you got for Cass tonight?
Cass, how you doing, man? Can Cass hear me?
Yeah, I think he can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh,
Did you mute Cass?
I did not.
I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. He says, "What's going on?"
Cass, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah. You're playing me. Yeah, I'm rubbing off on you, hitting the mute button.
Yeah. I think you muted me, man. Just great points today. I just wanted to get your thoughts on. Oh, can you? Sorry, you're cutting in and out. So hopefully you can still hear me here. Cass, I'm going to ask you on this road trip. It's an Eastern road trip, 3 Canadian teams. You got a good team in the Maple Leafs. You got an up-and-coming team in the Sens, and you got a team that's, in that rebuild mode in Montreal. For you, is 2 wins what you want to see from this group minimum on this road trip?
Yeah. I think that's a fair expectation, in building some of that momentum to say, hey, ideally, 3 wins would be great. But if they can go 2-1, that's a good road trip. Like that is a good road trip out east, playing some good teams. And Ottawa's been playing with some momentum too. Like they're a good team right now, guys. Ottawa's playing some pretty good hockey. So yeah, I think 2 wins would be a fair and reasonable expectation. We want them to run the table. Anything less than that would be a little bit of a disappointment.
Victor Arvidsson out again, boys. Chris Knobloch the other day after the pregame skate, he wasn't that concerned. He didn't sound that concerned when he was talking about it, when was asked about it. But this is a second game in a row here where Arvidsson's not ready to go. I know they had an extra day. It was a travel day, but it's not like they were on the ice. Like, when do we start to go, maybe there's more to it than we thought? Or do you think this is still kind of in that grace period where it's just minor and they're waiting for it to get, close to 100%?
Yeah, it's still in that grace period. Listen, guys, injuries can take time. An injury that, may have a week to week and a half, like it's not unheard of. So yeah, I think we're still in that grace period right now. Obviously they haven't told us too much about it where we don't know exactly, but yeah, you're still in that grace period. Let's not freak out yet.
Yeah, because I look at it this way, boys. They're on an Eastern road trip. Bakersfield is pretty far away. I think Arvidsson is really close. They're probably getting 1 extra game here, and he'll be good by Monday. Or else I think they would have called someone else because we all know Chris Knobloch's not a fan of 11-7, even though they won the last game. But for me, it's one of those things where I think Arvidsson's a lot closer. He just might need 1 more game, or else I think they would have called someone up. Especially if you're going to go out east, play 3 games, you're not going to do 3 games 11-7. There's no way.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Good point.
All right, the Oilers and the Leafs going toe-to-toe. Edmonton 1 win in its last 6 visits to Toronto. Just one of those buildings that has been tough on the Oilers, and especially in recent years. Cass, you had a different perspective on going into Toronto. What was it like for you as a member of the Sens?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting place to play because the bottom bowl we would always say is all suits, and then the top bowl is the rabid fans. Now we know like Toronto's a crazy hockey market, but it's an interesting building because it can feel quiet on the ice, and that's you generally have a lot of corporate seats in the bottom bowl and people in suits, and they're late getting back to their seats because they're making business deals underneath, and so it was like a little quiet, and then up top is where all the people that are just absolutely nuts that have been in a good way, season ticket holders up there. So with that being said, that the eye of the hockey world is upon you in a lot of ways there in Toronto. So it was a fun building. I mean, I hated the Leafs, loved playing them, hated a bunch of players on the team in a not a real hate, but like you just want to punch them in the face when you're playing against them way. Like they were rivals when you're with Ottawa. So it was always fun because for me, those games were always full of rage and anger on both sides where no one really liked each other that much. So I always had fun there. Again, there's cameras, there's media, people are going to be talking about it, there's going to be a buzz, and it was just a fun place to play. I mean, and Montreal too, which we'll talk about in a couple days, but is a blast.
Scalding Gord says Nylander is going to own the Oilers. Book it. Okay, he's a good player, that's for sure. And we're talking about the renaissance of John Tavares. Tavares has 16 points in 17 games. Willie Nylander has 20 points in 18 games. And Mitch Marner leads the way with 22 points in 18 games. This defense, we talked about it a little bit, Cass. From an Oilers standpoint, what do you make from that back end and how Brett Kulak is starting to emerge seemingly? And then Are you starting to see anything promising when it comes to the third pairing and guys like Emberson and Stetcher and Dermott at all?
Yeah. I mean, Stetcher. I think at this point we know what you're going to get there, and it's just it's going to be third pairing minutes and going to have some good moments, going to have some okay moments.
Yeah.
Dermott, same thing. Seems to struggle a little bit when the tempo is really high. So against a team like Toronto, I don't anticipate he's going to play a ton today. Now, he didn't play a ton against Nashville, probably not going to play a ton today. I mean, Kulak, there's been a lot of talk about him kind of everywhere in Edmonton from a media standpoint. And I think from a fan standpoint too, where he has started to play and he's helped Darnell Nurse raise the level of his game. And that's been a really good thing. He's playing at that level that we have seen him get to at times during the last couple of years, and especially during the playoffs where he's been consistent. And, even playing as off wing, he moves really, really well. And in games where the tempo is raised and it's has some speed to it, he's found a way to use his feet to make good plays. And we'll use that one. And I can't remember who the Nashville player was, but one race for the puck, where he kind of was able to get back and break up a play, right in front of Calvin Pickard last game. He uses his feet well. So he's starting to, I don't want to say it's like starting to isn't the right term. But we've just almost been realizing again that, listen, this guy can play. And he is capable of giving you some pretty good minutes. Now, that doesn't solve all the Oilers' problems and doesn't solve some of your depth issues, but it does solidify the top two pairs. And the more that those guys continue to play well, I think the less amount of minutes you'll see some of those bottom guys get. Now, Emberson, he's done some okay things too, still working his way in, and we still have to be very patient with him because, he's not a guy that should have been forced into the top four at all.
Right.
He's still a third-pairing defenseman, still developing, still learning.
Emerson going into career game number 46, and I think that's something we should keep top of mind. That blue line will be tested tonight by the Leafs attack. Cass, fantastic stuff as always, my friend. I'll catch up with you on the post-game show, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, there's our game analyst, Matt Cassian, with Game Changers, brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. Keep those texts coming, 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat. Hit that thumbs up button, please, and thank you. We're going to be joined by Nick Alberga. He's going to be here shortly. He's the host of Leafs Morning Take out in Toronto. We're live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate. And if you see that QR code, if you're watching, you can scan it, and that will take you to the scheduling and booking of the Coors Light Golf Sim. You can see that over my shoulder. There's a crew out there that just brought their clubs. They're playing right now. So, yeah, $20 an hour, great rate. And also, as part of the Coors Light Golf Sim, we have a tailor-made left-handed Spider putter that we're going to give away on the post-game show. We're going to ask you, and Hernan will, the trivia question to get in on that action as well. There's a huge cooler from Vizzy that has a speaker on it. That's going to be part of the raffle here. We've got an Oilers jersey, a Heritage Classic hoodie, as well as a Hockey Canada hoodie to give away, among many other fantastic prizes. And, of course, our EST 6 o'clocker lager that we did with Alley Cat, available in can form here at BP Westgate. All right, Nick Alberga is good to go. My paisan from Toronto, host of Leafs Morning Take. Nicky, baby, what's going on? How's life without Matthews in Toronto?
Tommy, it's pretty good right now. Taylor Swift's in town. Connor McDavid's in town. I'm on the line with you. What's up with you, bud?
Oh, I'm just excited to be here. We're talking Oilers Leafs. It's a 5 o'clock start out here, and that means a nice early Saturday, so it's going to be great. Okay, this Leafs team, they're doing pretty good without Austin Matthews. I know we kind of jest about him being injured, and that's a big hole in the Leafs lineup, but Toronto seems to be rolling along quite nicely without him. What have been the keys to success without Austin Matthews in the lineup?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the big topic of conversation the last little while in this market is this team continues to perform and get results without one of the best goal scorers, if not the best goal scorer on the planet right now. Like, it make absolutely no sense. I was doing a hit earlier on in Edmonton too, and I brought up the fact that you look at even last year, I think two of the big four for the Maple Leafs were out of the lineup when the Oilers visited Scotiabank Arena, and the Leafs won in a laugher. Like, the NHL sometimes in pro sports doesn't make sense, and along those lines, this doesn't make sense If you go back and like look at the record, the Leafs are like 20 games over 500 without Austin Matthews in the lineup. But they're, for the most part, in this small little stretch here, the last couple, I haven't been crazy about their game, specifically the one against Ottawa, against the Capitals. They obviously had, a strong push in the third period and then win the game in OT there via John Tavares. But I think it's just structure. At the end of the day, it comes back to structure, and maybe they're simplifying their game a bit more without Matthews in the lineup.
I don't know if I was right in calling it this, but John Tavares kind of leading the charge a little bit, especially recently. I said renaissance. I don't know if that's necessarily fair, but how would you describe the way he stepped up recently and some of the other offensive weapons that the Leafs possess?
I think it's the same old John Tavares. Like we talk about it a lot in this market, how he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too old, and it's easy to make cracks when it comes to him when he was a captain, his post-game remarks, always learning lessons, things like that. But year after year, he is the model of consistency. If you look at the track record of John Tavares throughout his NHL career in terms of point production. So I'm not shocked. I mean, it's a contract year. He's clearly playing for a new contract as well. He has shown spurts through the last couple of years where he could still be that dynamic guy. And I think he has really stepped up in the absence here of Austin Matthews. And if you recall, even to start the year, he was more of a tertiary look on the third line, maybe centering the third line for this Leafs team. So bit of a different look. I expected this from JT. He's still a really, really good player at this point in his career. He's playing for a new contract. And I just think, again, it speaks volumes to the type of player he is, type of guy he is, where he doesn't get too up, too down. But there's peaks and valleys. It's a long season. And every year, it seems like a couple times during the year, he goes on a dry spell. No doubt right now, he's playing really, really well for them.
That's going to be important. This is going to be something that the Oilers defense is going to have to key in on, like we were talking with Matty Cassian on Game Changers. Nick, let's jump to the goaltending. And you're going to see Anthony Stolarz. He was briefly an Edmonton Oiler a few years ago. He was brought in this year from the Florida Panthers. He's a big goaltender, and he's having a good season thus far. Joseph Wall also in the mix as well. How would you summarize the goaltending for this Leafs team? Because honestly, Nick, like from an outsider's perspective, you go, well, neither one of those guys is like a stud number one. How are they going to manage? How have they managed?
Yeah, and Tommy, that's the great debate in hockey right now when it comes to building a championship contending team is how much do you spend on your goaltending? Like, I have to think about it on a daily basis. Igor Shesterkin's going to get like over $11 million presumably from the New York Rangers at some point in time. And I'm like, is the bang worth the buck? But then you obviously look at Sergei Bobrovsky and what we've all made of that contract throughout his career here with the Panthers, and he wins a cup, and it's okay. Like, I would sign that every day of the week if it means winning a Stanley Cup. But I think you raise an excellent point. Like going into this season, I didn't worry about the Leafs crease, but certainly had questions, especially dating back to last year and all the turbulence. I know Ilya Samsonov and guys like Murray can't stay healthy, and like it just, Joseph Wall. And the same could be said for a good majority of the league. Like these guys in general just can't stay healthy, but it has been absolutely exceptional. And to your point with Anthony Stolarz, like the numbers checked out last year, but people wondered if it was like a Paul Maurice system or he's playing, he's got the best team in the league in front of him. But he's just come back this year, and he's grabbed it from day one. Ever since Joe Wall was ruled out of the season opener in Montreal, you have to credit Stolarz, who's now in his 30s, just grabbed that role, and he's a definitive number one guy. Like there's been nothing too flashy about his game. I will say, Tommy, like he hasn't let that weak goal in. And I think in prior iterations of this team, and you guys face it daily with Edmonton, like every team, like there's always a couple goals where the guy wants back. I could probably only name, like off the top of my head, maybe 3 or 4 this season that Stolarz wasn't crazy about. Like he's been that good, and he's making the opportune saves, which I think is important too.
Nick Alberga joining us, host of Leafs Morning Take, as we get you set for Toronto and Edmonton. Early game on Hockey Night in Canada tonight. The Leafs, Nick, have owned McDavid and the Oilers in Toronto. The numbers aren't particularly great. 1 win in the last 6 visits for the Oilers. Is there more is there more fuel whenever McDavid and the Oilers roll through town? How would you describe it from a Leafs point of view?
I think so. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot the last couple of days in preparation for this game, because like we sort of joke about this every year where it's like local products come into Toronto and they have the games of their lives. And for some reason, you look at the best player on the planet, the best players on the planet, they come into Toronto and it's like a struggle. It's actually hilarious when you think about it, because again, a lot of these guys will come home and they'll put up a 4 or 5 point night, and we're just like, another guy coming home having his day. But I think it's a bit of that. I think obviously there's a bit of pressure. I mean, they're never going to admit it, but family and friends, there's a hoopla, there's the tickets. Like, you're dealing with a lot more when your family is surrounding you, as opposed to like when you're in your normal confines of, say, like Edmonton. That's probably the only thing I would say. I think it's one of those weird abnormalities in pro sports where it just doesn't really make sense, considering you look at how good this Edmonton team has been in the past. And, even I mentioned last year the unfortunate nature for the Leafs, where I think like 2 of the big four, it might have been Matthews and Marner or something like that, were out of the lineup, and the Leafs still, walked away with that game. So it's like one of those things I never can really put a finger on why it happens, Tommy.
Hey, it's a good thing for the Leafs, that's for sure. McDavid's got his points against the Maple Leafs. I think it's 35 points in 24 games versus Toronto, or 23 games, 35 points, 11 goals, 24 assists. But they don't win there, Nick. And last year when the Oilers went there, it was over before the first period was, even up. It was 6-3 final, but I think the Oilers scored a couple goals in garbage time. As for tonight, Paisan, what do you anticipate? What kind of game do you think we're in for?
I'm not really good on these predictions, especially when it comes to the team I cover, because I think they've been really, really inconsistent throughout the year. I have just no clue who's going to show up. But I think the only way to win a game like this against a red-hot McDavid and the Oilers in general in that offense is, like, you have to play your structured style. And it's not fun to say because I want to be entertained. I'm on my way to the game right now. It's a Saturday night, feeling good. There's a good vibe to the city, but I think I'm expecting more of like a defensive-minded game. And if you look at sort of the track record of this season series the last couple of years, it has been what we didn't expect. Like, every time Edmonton and Toronto get together, you expect this like fire wagon 6-5 hockey. But I think both teams have this sort of loose attachment to the structure and the style that's going to bring them success in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And specifically from the Maple Leafs perspective, you're without Austin Matthews. Granted, the numbers speak for themselves, but I think you have to sort of force yourself to play that structure, strong forecheck, and play more of a defensive-minded game, especially with who rolling into town here.
Taylor Swift, Connor McDavid, and Nick Alberga, 3 absolute beauties. Paisan, thank you for your time tonight. Enjoy the game. Mix in a water this weekend, all right?
Sounds good, guys. Enjoy the game yourselves. Take care.
All right, stay out of trouble, Bello. There's Nick Alberga, host of the Leafs Morning Take. Hernan Salas, get back on here. How you doing over there? Everything good back at EST HQ?
Oh, yeah. Everything's great. I like the vibe there in Toronto. You can, like Nick was pretty excited there. It's Saturday night, 7 o'clock start. Taylor Swift just rolled through, and the Maple Leafs, like you said, are feeling good. They've been without Austin Matthews for a handful of games now, so and they're hanging in there. So you got to give him credit. And Stolarz, man, what a story! He's been excellent for them. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun game, man. I love when the Oilers are in Toronto.
Hey, you want to talk about a vibe? We got the Combine crew here, Fergie's Prostate. We got my dad's friends and my family's here. We got Jay and Andrea over here with a big beer in their hands. Let's go. Good to see you guys. See, it's filling up. We got the crew over at the Coors Light Golf Sim over there.
Yeah.
You can book that. If you want to get in on the golf simulator, Curtis was telling me from BP Westgate, that QR code, if you're watching on YouTube, that'll take you to the reservation page for the Coors Light Golf Sim. And Hernan, we were talking about this earlier. So Curtis dropped off this putter. It's a tailor-made Spider, left-handed golf putter, and values about $250. It's in the bag, brand new. Among many giveaways we've got GCs, we've got Oilers jersey, we've got an Oilers hoodie, we got Team Canada hoodie as well, and then this huge cooler that has a speaker on it as well. So come on down. And then for the putter, we're going to be doing trivia. And the way it's going to work is you're going to give the trivia question. To get in on the trivia to win this putter, brought to you by Molson Canadian, you're going to have to text in to 780-218 the correct, or 9999, the correct answer to the trivia. And then on the post-game show, we will announce our winner, which will be selected from the correct answers.
Correct.
Make sense?
Yep.
Yes. All right. Natsu, do you have the trivia question for everyone?
I sure do.
Lay it on us, brother.
There's a tie-in, too, so You got to think a little bit. But it's not that hard of a question. You just got to do some digging, but just think back to last game, kind of. All right? Last time the Oilers won in Toronto was in the COVID season. No fans. On March 29th, 2021. The Oilers won in overtime. You have to send in who scored in overtime and the 2 assists.
I like it. You're gonna
Remember my hint before the question. Wink, wink. So let us know. Last time the Oilers won in Toronto, who scored the overtime winner and who assisted. There you
Beautiful.
go. Nice.
There you go. All right. That's for a $250 TaylorMade putter lefty. That's a lefty, and we will be announcing the winner on the post-game show. You'll have to tune in for that one. Awesome stuff. So one more time, Nanso. It's the overtime goal, the Oilers' last win in Toronto, and the 2 assists.
Yes.
Who got it? Okay. 780-218-9999. Text those in. The answers, right answers, will be put into the draw. All right, portions of this hour, I should add too. Brought to you by Hudson's, Canada's Pub. You're invited to watch any Oilers game there. They like to do all-day happy hours. They also have their 6 o'clock house draft, or $6 house draft with the new Blueberry Blonde. Man, tongue twisters on these liners today. Book your reservation now at Hudson's, Canada's Pub.com, or just come on down. Or book your reservation for the 21st. We're going to be at the White Avenue location, where they also, just like here at BP Westgate, have 6 o'clock lager available. Absolutely tremendous. All right, Nan. So any thoughts, any texts that we've seen that you want to hit on?
I'm looking right now. We got a few correct answers, a few incorrect answers.
Ooh.
So it's going to be fun. Nothing on the inbox. I think you've read all of those. So I'm just going through the nasty chat right now. It's interesting, though. Let's see here. Let me see. Find just a lot of conversation between our nasties. Like is
I love
usually the case. Yeah, usually the case. Sorry, I can't even talk right now. But yeah, it's I am interested that Arvidsson's out again, Tommy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and again, I said it with you and Cass. I don't think it's long term, or else they would have called someone up. On the flip side for the Oilers, it's good because the Toronto's gonna get a heavy dose of McDavid and Draisaitl, and that's always a good thing. We'll see how these teams match up special teams wise. If the Oilers so far so good, last 2 games they haven't given up a power play goal, which is baby steps, like we said. But a lot of good performances from different guys on the Leafs. You look at a guy like Matthew Knies really coming into his own, Bobby McCann. And William Nylander, I think Gager said it on our show, like he's taking over that team right now with Austin Matthews on Tommy.
They're going to need, and that's, I was going to say by committee, but they do have guys who are stars that aren't named Austin Matthews and are capable of doing it. Tavares the other night, Nylander, absolutely. We forget that Max Domi's still on the team at times, and they've got some of these guys that can certainly drive the offense for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then on defense, it's a decent blue line for sure. You heard Cass talking about it on Game Changers. Yanni Hakanpää, they had to wait for him to get back from injury. He had to go down and play with the Marlies for a little bit. And now he's paired up with Morgan Rielly on the top pair for the Leafs. So it's an interesting team. I know we like to jest about them having their struggles, and I think that's understandably so, them being part of the center of the hockey universe. So we'll see how the Oilers attack them. We'll see how the Leafs try to attack Edmonton. I'm sure, Hernan, anytime we see a combination of Kulak with either Emerson or Stetcher out there, they might try to go after them a little bit. At what point and how long do we have to wait to see Nurse paired up with Kulak? Or will they roll out Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Kulak, and then mix in a rotation of those other guys? Like that'll be interesting as the Oilers go 11-7 tonight, right?
Yeah, I think they always start. They roll their 6, and then as the game goes on, then you'll see Kulak and Nurse. And like I said, it's good for Bouchard and Ekholm because they're the only pair that's not disrupted, which is good. But like as a defenseman, Tom, you can't like this because you're just out of rhythm. You can't continually have a different partner. But I do think again, Tom, we're going to see Dermott around that 5 to 6 minute mark. He's not going to. Well, either him or Stetcher are going to ride the pine more than the other guys. But I think this is going to be heavy minutes for the top four of the Oilers. And when I say top four, I include Kulak. And then Emberson will probably be around that 13-minute mark. And then it's between Stetcher and Dermott who's going to get the other 12 minutes and who's going to get the 5 to 6. So I expect a lot of Nurse and Kulak tonight. And Tommy, it might start right off the hop. Highly unlikely, but by the third, fourth shift, I think you'll see those two guys out there. And they've been really good together. Kulak.
True.
And listen, Kulak it's not like we're surprised how good he is, but I think we're surprised that with the extended minutes he's getting, he's been really, really good. So I'm pumped, man. I think Kulak's taking another step. And it's crazy because he's an older guy, but it just goes to show you that you can get better no matter how old you are.
Yeah, exactly. He's just so solid. I know he's popped in a few goals this year as Lieutenant Eric just popped in over my shoulder again. People are having a good time. We've got a good group of nasties here. No, this has been really, really good. You're coming down here, right, Hernan? You're going to be down here shortly.
Down, yeah.
Drag a Wannick with you if you can. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So come on down. They've got the golf simulator going, the Coors Light golf simulator. What? Oh, yeah, I know he's got a shot. I'm waiting for my dad. Go get it. Can you get it? Yeah, go get Reno. Is it okay, Hernan? Are you cool with Reno coming on for a couple minutes? It's his birthday after all.
I love Reno. He's my favorite.
He's on his way. All right. I see VR Montenegro's here now. I see Rip City Step. I see Ginger. Dude, we've got a great turnout here of the Nasty crew, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. There's Papa. Here he is. So you know Reno very well. You've known him for years. It's my dad's birthday. So, yeah, here you go. We're going to bring him on. He's excited. There you go.
He's making his debut.
He's making his debut. There you go. You keep that right there.
All right.
Very good. Norman to Combine babysitting you just to make sure you're okay. All right, we're going to start with this. Natso, do you have anything for my dad?
No, I already said happy birthday. Enjoy it. Have some beers, and hopefully the Oilers can win the game for good old Reno.
All right. Happy birthday to Reno. My dad's 69th birthday.
There we go.
My mom's in Europe. He's got the green light. All right, Reno. So you got Diego, Johnny. Thank you, Norm. Uncle Paulo's here. Auntie Rhonda's here. Larry's here. You got your whole crew.
Got them all except for Eva.
Yeah, Mom's back in Europe, but
get
come on in
closer in there.
Get closer. Here, I'll let you in here. You got your Oilers jersey on. You're excited for tonight. We're talking about no Matthews for the Oilers or for the Leafs. No Arvidsson for the Oilers, but Edmonton on a 3-game winning streak. Your thoughts on this Oilers team this season? You get frustrated very easily, Hernan, as you know.
Well, first of all, I'd like to see them beat the Leafs on my birthday. Mm-hmm. It would be like going back to 2003 and seeing the Eskimos win the Grey Cup in Saskatchewan on my birthday. Was a great present. So if the Oilers can do it tonight in Toronto, it would bring back those same memories.
That was a long time ago.
Well, yeah.
Do you even remember 2003?
Well, that was a while back.
Yeah.
And but it was, we went to that game in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
And Edmonton won, and it was the best birthday present I had in a long time.
Reno, that was Mike Pringle.
Except for
that was Mike Pringle, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, he was on the team. Yeah, he was a beast for the double lead. I was gonna say, Reno, it goes to show you that beating Toronto in a regular season game it's got the same stature as winning the Grey Cup, eh? Because everybody hates those sleeves, man.
That's right. Yeah. No, you're all right, Hernan. If we can get a win, although Edmonton does not play well in Toronto. That's always for some reason been a bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think tonight without Matthews there, they're probably going to have a better chance. And I think that they're finally getting into that groove where they're, playing better defensively, better. Offense has never been a real issue for them, except putting the puck in the net.
This year for sure.
Yeah, they've been all around the net, but just can't finish. Finally starting to do that. And then goaltending again. Pickard played well last game. So, I get one or two bad ones, never good. But at the same time, if you can recover, then that makes the game better. And hopefully they don't have to go to overtime to win it. But
piss away a lead, as you like to say.
Piss away a lead. But looking for a good game. That's all.
Reno, the good thing is this team kind of plays better on the road. They kind of, they hone in on the details that cost them late leads, and hopefully that's the case tonight, because this team needs to lock it down when they're up late in a game.
Oh yeah, well, be nice to see them win tonight, and then an overtime win in Montreal on Monday. That would be.
Oh, there you go. See, Hernan, he's a Leafs fan at heart. Or pardon me, a Habs fan at heart. And then,
Habs fan at heart.
yeah, there you go.
So I'm projecting ahead. Beat the Leafs tonight, an overtime win in Montreal, and then pound Ottawa, and they come back with a few points, a nice winning streak on the road. That would be nice to see.
That would be awesome. I think Oilers fans would be extremely happy. But let's win tonight, and hopefully the Oilers, we can talk about a 4-game win streak.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Hey, one last one for you, Reno. What do you think of the vibe here at Boston Pizza Westgate?
Oh, super. Everybody here is just having a good time. Norm buying me a little pick-me-upper, and the 6 o'clocker loggers are flowing.
Nice.
And it's very good. People here are really having a good time, and this establishment is very nice. Lots of nice TVs. You can see the game, and very positive. Come on down.
Yeah, join Reno. Reno's he's gonna be in fine form. We got some great giveaways: an Oilers jersey, an Oilers hoodie, a Heritage Classic one, Team Canada hoodie, and then we got this cooler here, Reno.
That's a big cooler. Wow.
Yeah,
that's
and then
beautiful.
Nanso, we have this tailor-made Spider putter, and it's a $250 putter. It's a lefty, courtesy of Molson Canadian and the fine folks here at Boston Pizza. Curtis says, come on down. Check out the Coors Light Golf Simulator. Reno, I know you're eyeing this bad boy up because you want a new putter. You're not left-handed.
Any lefties out there.
He doesn't putt very well right-handed, so may as well try left.
He might try to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But
Uncle Diego, who's a lefty, would be very happy to have that putter.
Yeah, he would be. Diego's actually in-house, which is great. Uncle Paulo's here. All your brothers are here. Mom's not here. She's in Europe taking care of my grandma.
Yeah.
But my brother, Paulie's coming down as well. Hernan's coming down. Hopefully you can drag a Wannick down here as well. Lieutenant Eric's buzzing. He's having a great time. Fergie's Prostate, the Combine crew, Jay and Andrea, Rip City. It's a great vibe here, Hernan. And again, anybody that's listening or watching, come on down to BP. So, Nanso, throw out the trivia question for that putter one more time, because we'll select the winner from all the correct answers on the text line, and we'll announce the winner on the post-game show.
Yeah, the Oilers' last win in Toronto was on March 29th, 2021, when they won in overtime. You got to send in the goal scorer and the 2 helpers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't remember that, do you? Good. Don't give away the answer. 780-218-9999. Reno, happy birthday, big man.
Thank you, guys.
Here's my Brian McDavid. He's a beauty, and he's going to be celebrating his birthday, and he wants an Oilers win tonight. Nanso, great work. Get your butt down here. Drag a Wannick with you. We're having a lot of fun here at Boston Pizza Westgate. Huge thank you to Nick Alberga covering the Toronto Maple Leafs, and big thank you to everybody who watched and listened. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, as well as Apple Music. And if you watched on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Come and see us. We're having a great time. Boston Pizza, Westgate, 170th Street and 90th Avenue. The Coors Light Sim is humming along. We've got this fantastic tailor-made putter, among many other prizes, including an Oilers jersey. For my dad, Reno, the birthday boy, for Hernan Salas and Matty Cassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the Oilers and the Leafs.
Go Oilers!